Good morning, all my dear students. Welcome back to the online classes. In my last class, I had started with you a new chapter from the book Beehive called The Fun They Had. And we came to know that there are two characters, Tommy and Margie, in the story. Well, I hope you all have listened and seen the video and could understand whatever I explained in my last class. And I am also quite sure that if you have the books, then you also have read the story. So now let's move forward. But before that, a quick recap of what we did in our last class. So there were two characters, Tommy and Margie, who found a real book, a book of the past, that means our present, and because the story is in the future. So they got the book and two of the characters had two different opinions. According to Tommy, the book was useless because when one finishes reading that book, he will just throw it away. He doesn't find the book useful. And in comparison to that, his computer screen is much more useful because they could put a million of books there and nobody would throw that away. On the other hand, there was Margie. I just missed one part which I like to add up today. Margie, when she saw the book, she found it interesting in the sense that the letters or the words in the pages of the book, they were not scrolling, they were stable, they were at one place, and even after one turns the pages and comes back, they find the letters in the same place. Now, why did she find that interesting? Because she was reading in a mechanical teacher in a computer screen where the letters keep on scrolling, just like we see it in our computers or mobiles. So for her, that was very interesting. Other than that, she did not find the content of this book interesting because for her, school was a very boring thing. Now, why it was boring, I already explained you in my previous class. Now, let's move forward. So, when Margie, she told Tommy that what is so interesting about books, about schools, and what would someone write about schools in their book. Tommy, he was older than Margie, as well as he felt he tried to show himself superior to her. So, with a sense of showing that he had a lot of knowledge, he laughed at Margie and he told Margie that this is not like the schools that we read in. These are the schools that were centuries ago. So, Margie did not dispute much with him and she started reading the book. While she was reading, she found that the book was about teachers. She found the word teacher in the book and she said that okay, finally, even if there is something different about the school, but they also had teachers. To which Tommy gave the reply that it was not like teachers that we have. They are human teachers. And Margie was very surprised. Like, how can humans be teachers? She did not talk much to Tommy about it. But then she just commented that I don't want a human teacher to stay in my home. Now, Tommy, he laughed at Margie and said that, see, it is nothing similar to what we are having. That is what Tommy and Margie were experiencing. The schools of the past, of centuries ago, that is our present school, is no way similar to the schools that they were reading in. Okay, so they found. So Tommy said that there is a lot of difference between our school and theirs. So Margie asked now what the difference was. So Tommy, he said that in earlier times, people did not study in their homes. They did not study in one small room. School, in fact, was a big building. You all know, isn't it? So now just understand that Tommy is talking about our school, present school in the future. So he says that schools were big buildings where children from all the neighbors would come together and they would sit and study together. So that is a school, and they had human teachers where this human teachers, they used to teach the students. Now Margie said that how could humans be teachers? Humans don't know so much. To which Tommy disagreed. Tommy said that no, my father knows as much as my computer teacher. That means the mechanical teacher. He said that I can bet on it that my father's knowledge is equal to my computer's knowledge. That means in the past the human teachers could teach just like the mechanical teacher. So this is what Tommy's comment was about the school and the human teacher. Tommy also added that in those times all the children used to study the same thing. So again Margie got surprised because and Margie said that her mother told her that education or the studies or contents of the study should be adjusted according to the student's age. So she did not understand that in the schools that were in the buildings and where human teachers used to teach, the students were put into classes according to their ages, and therefore they were reading the same things. So to which Tommy was no more interested, like arguing with her, and he said that okay, if you don't like, you don't need to read this book. But Margie was interested. She found the schools very funny. She found it something new, and she said that no, I didn't say that I don't want to know about it or I don't want to read about the school. I do want it. However, in the meantime, it was already their time to sit for their classes, to go to because they had a fixed time in which they had to sit in front of the mechanical teacher. So it was already time. So Tommy also went to his class, and Margie slowly she came and she sat in her room in her school, that is that small room by the side of her bedroom. She sat there, the mechanical teacher started, and it started taking class. But now Margie was no more interested in listening to the class. She was imagining how the children in the past would have enjoyed their class, because all of them could go and sit in the same class. They could enjoy, they could talk, they could share. If somebody could not do the homework, then the other one would have helped that student. And she was thinking that how the teachers could also explain whatever problems the students would have, and she was imagining the fun that those students would have and the fun that she was missing. So with that thought, our story comes to an end. The last paragraph, I'll just read it so that you can understand the conclusion. Margie was thinking about how the kids must have loved it in the old days. She was thinking about the fun they had. So this is the reason why the story is called The Fun They Had, because in the story, Margie was not enjoying her studies. Margie was not enjoying staying at home, sitting in front of a mechanical teacher, a computer which could not respond to her questions, which could not explain the way a human teacher could. So when she came to know that in the past there were schools where all the children used to come together, they could enjoy together, they could share their feelings, play, learn together, and moreover they had teachers with whom they could talk, with whom they could express their feelings, whatever they could not understand, they could ask the teacher. When she came to know about all this, she realized that in the past the students really had fun, which she was missing. So therefore the name of the chapter is The Fun They Had. So with this, my dear students, the summary of this story is over, but once school opens, I'll go line by line explanation. In my next class, I shall give you the textual question answers. You will write them down in your copy by listening to it. I'll put an audio clipping in the WhatsApp group. You will note down the answers from there. But there are certain important things which you need to understand about the story, like the name of like title justification. You might get a question on why the story is called The Fun They Had. One more important question is, what is the difference between the schools of the past and the schools in which Margie and Tommy read? So this will be the kind of questions which will be important And right now, from my explanation, whatever idea you have got, students, you just listen to the video properly, see the video, listen to my explanations, and if you have the book, read the chapter, and I think you will get an idea about the difference between your school and the school in which Margie used to read. So that's all for today. Thank you, my dear students. Have a good day.